Hi, everyone. Happy Hump Day, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every weekday and Sundays, we're coming at you live. Today, we're coming at you from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. We have an amazing show for you guys today. There is a lot to talk about. President Joe Biden gave a State of the Union speech. We're going to cover that. We're also going to cover, is the U.S. after headhunting? Are they headhunting crypto and Bitcoin? We have a case we want to present to you guys, and we want your thoughts as well. Also, some huge news regarding Sandbox. They have partnered with a government, a country. Sand token has exploded, and so what does it mean for the future? Lucky for us, we have a special guest joining us, Dan from the Chart Guys. We'll take a look at Ethereum, Polygon. We'll take a look at Sandbox and all your favorite altcoins. But before we can do that, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, boring, and stale information, get sidetracked, and then come back around to crypto. How you doing? Bitcoin is at 23,000. We have lost support. The sky is falling. We are now at $22,939.
Wow.
Yes,
you know, before we get into
what's up? Que pasa?
You know, we got to start the show off with some giggles here, right?
Okay.
And when was the last time you went to a gentleman's club?
Gentleman's club?
Yeah.
AKA, you mean a strip club?
Yeah.
Stop. Okay. Yeah. Anybody that refers to a strip club
Well, I only
as
said
a
it
gentleman's
because
club.
what I'm about to show you, it'll make
Okay.
sense.
All right. Okay.
It's been a while?
It's been a minute, you know.
How
In
would-
my earlier days, I was DJing at the strip club. Then I realized instead of throwing my money randomly at strippers that return nothing, I now throw it at random crypto projects that also return nothing.
Wow. How would you feel if you walked into a strip club and you ran into this?
What is?
This is the world's largest bouncer. Las Vegas Gentlemen's Club debuts a 15-foot robotic security detail. What
I don't know what it is, but doesn't look good.
would you feel safer if you're a stripper? Would you feel safer if this big hunk of metal here was patrolling the Gentlemen's Club, making sure no one got out of line? Now, how would this make you feel if you walked in there and you saw this guy?
Let me tell you exactly what that thing looks like.
Look like a Decepticon?
No. This is definitely movies coming, things that we
Reality.
saw in the past that we thought were just future and weren't going to happen. Have you ever seen RoboCop? Because in RoboCop, this was back in the 80s. You want to talk about price predictions? Future predictions, RoboCop is on to something, man. Right?
RoboCop is on one.
You got Skynet with the Terminator. Obvious AI is going to take over the world, and now you have the enemy from RoboCop is now working part-time at
Patrolling the
strip
bounce club, the Astro clubs.
Okay.
Interesting, yeah. Figured, we're making advancements in human technology here. So, all right. So to stay on the, did you watch the State of the Union yesterday, Joe Biden?
I watched highlights.
Okay. You know what I noticed a lot? How much the vice president, Kamala Harris, how many times she stood up and emphatically clapped.
They always do that.
No,
That's like a
always
new
does
thing.
that.
That's like a new thing.
It's like, I don't know if she's got an itch or something that she's going to keep getting up out of her seat. But
Like a butt itch?
no, but this was one of the highlights of Joe Biden's State of the Union. And so let's take a look together, guys. Let's take a gander.
Make no mistake, if you try anything to raise the cost of producing jobs, I will veto it.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
try anything to raise the cost of producing jobs, I will veto it.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want a high cost of resistance and drugs.
I didn't understand what he said. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's the point, Rocco.
did he
That's
say?
the
I
point.
thought he said union jobs.
Sounds
but then
like
I realized
Brazilian-
it was not union jobs.
It sounded like Brazilian something.
I don't know.
Brazilian jobs.
Brazilian butt waxing.
Okay. This
Get
is,
rid of that
This
itch.
is getting a little
That's
weird.
a visual.
So, Party Farm said, yeah, in the future, the strippers will be robots too. Well, I mean, anyways, we're not going to go down that path.
Yeah,
staying-
man. I'm telling you, the adult industry is going to be taken over by deep fakes, man. this whole AI thing, it's not only in your Google search, but I'm just saying, man.
All right, let's stay on. So we did a poll. So if you're not following us on Sin City Crypto on Twitter, please do so. At Sin City Crypto 1. And yes, we did pay for the blue check mark. So I laid out a scenario. Okay, this was a poll. This is a scenario, Robin. I want to know where your vote would be cast. 2024 presidential race is Biden versus Trump. Your party's candidate, whether Democrat or Republican, is anti-crypto, and the opponent vows to pave the way for crypto to be a huge part of the American economy. Are you sticking with your party candidate, or are you switching sides? What will you choose?
Okay, we've had this discussion before in my when I went to go vote, and I have scrapped that whole party lines thing. I vote in whoever is making the most headwind or has the most open policy to adopting crypto. That's essentially what our personal business, my livelihood, depends on the adoption of crypto. And whether or not you're Democrat, Republican, third party, whatever it is, I am here to support those. Now,
so if you're a Biden,
I have one vote. I have one vote. So my personal vote is going to side with my business because that's my livelihood. But if I didn't have this business, I would be voting on my party lines accordingly.
Got it.
But times have changed, at least for me personally. So I'm going with whoever's supporting crypto. And so the last time I went to the polls to go vote, I basically just I had my phone out.
Who'd you vote for?
I had written out. I'm not saying it, bro.
Come on, bro. Who'd you vote for?
So I had all of the crypto people. You're like, you got to vote for like 40 people, man.
Yeah.
Voting is not easy as far as
Coinbase made it easy, and you laughed at Coinbase because they did the whole thing where they have a breakdown of all the candidates and the people and what they voted. You're like, oh, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I have never laughed at Coinbase.
Yes, you have.
Nope.
I will pull the receipts. Anyways, 71% or 75% of you said you wouldn't care. You would vote for whoever is pro crypto. And so it's interesting. Some people don't care, but I'm with Robin here. Whatever, if I vote for someone who's anti-crypto and wants to ban it, well, then I'm essentially, cheddar bobbing myself, which if you haven't seen the movie 8 Mile, I'd recommend you doing so. All right.
What other turnout that I, percentage-wise, is the turnout on the like button. First of all, why haven't you liked the video? Yes, this is going to be a personal announcement to you watching this show. If you hit this button, the like button, located down below somewhere. I don't know where it is, but close the damn chat. Hit the like button. Do us a favor. Let's get this thing crunked. Let's get the 15-foot robotic bouncer up in here because we're going to open up the damn club.
If I was a if I had stupid money, I would buy one of those and bring it in the studio.
A club?
No, the robot thing.
No.
All right. So Rob, one last thing before we move on to some actual crypto talk here. So I know you're big into technology. You like tech, all the new, okay. But do you think tech might get to a point where it's just overdoing it, like kind of getting too much into our personal space, maybe directly into our brains and seeing what we're paying attention to? Would that bother you?
Well, that's coming. I mean, you've seen the
it's not coming, bro.
The Neuralink.
It's not coming. It's here. It's literally here. Listen to this, okay?
For some reason, I just assumed you're going to have like a video of somebody with an iPhone taped to their eyes or something.
No, look at this. This is from Wall Street Silver. Corporations want to know, track if you are paying attention while you work or if your mind is wandering. So we know after the pandemic, a lot of workplaces said, all right, you can work from home. And even when everything reopened, people wanted to stay and work from home. And so people were like, well, are they paying attention? We've seen stuff where it moves your mouse for you, so that way you don't have to sit in front of the computer. Well, here is a way they're going to start seeing if you're actually paying attention to them. This is a little freaky.
9 out of 10 employees waste time during the workday. They focus on other things. There may be good reasons why we want to be able to find better ways to monitor whether somebody is paying attention or they're doing something different. The newest way to monitor attention is through a device like this one. These are ear pods that are launching later this year. These ear pods, much like the video you watched earlier, are ear pods that can pick up brainwave activity and tell whether or not a person is paying attention, mind is wandering. Okay, well you might think, fine, but even if we can tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, you can't tell what they're paying attention to. You would be wrong. It turns out that you can not only tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, but you can discriminate between the kinds of things that they're paying attention to. Whether they're doing something like central tasks, like programming, peripheral tasks, like writing documentation, or unrelated tasks, like surfing social media or online browsing.
Bro, you're telling me for years and decades, okay, we funneled billions, maybe even trillions of dollars into cancer research, and we don't have a cure for cancer yet. But we have the resources and the ability to track where people are paying attention. That's insane, dude.
Bro, and you are firsthand knowledge of this. If I had those things on, bruh, during the show, you know, when you turn to me and ask me a question, and you're like,
Robin, were you paying attention? Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Actually, you weren't.
System error.
Bruh.
System error.
I am a straight gopher out here, man.
You're more of a rooster, but
let me give a little love to the chat
crazy,
here.
man.
If you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. That's an hola without the H. I saw somebody in the chat drop an hola with an H. That's a no-no. Anyways, we have Crypto Moods, GMH the Beast Mendez, Pave Cleaner, Chance with a bunch of zeros, Party Farm, Arthur Zero, Self Custody, Robert Triana, and G4 Live. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
all right.
And we got a Flavio from Brazil.
Oh, Flavio, yeah.
Brasil. Portuguesa, hable
And,
portuguesa, portuguesa, mexicano.
Doyle and Doyle's
João
here last week.
Basilo. Anyways, all right. So we did a poll. Make sure you guys vote for the poll.
You sound just like Biden.
Make sure you vote the poll. Robin, I'm going to ask you this question, and I want you to just give, just you don't have to, elaborate. Just give an answer. Do you think the U.S. will ever ban crypto, or do you think they're trying to ban crypto?
I think they're going to try to regulate it for their own best interest.
So you think banning is completely out of the...
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a blanket ban. No.
What about taking control over crypto somehow?
I think they're going to try to incentivize users to use products that they control. And the ones they don't control, they're going to try to make the market not go that direction.
Okay.
That makes sense?
So, yes, I'm going to paint a picture for you. I'm going to create a narrative, and I'm going to ask you the same question again after we go through everything, right? So, the theme of this video, the U.S. is headhunting Bitcoin and crypto, and we're going to start here, okay? This is from MSN.com. So, this was about a little over a month ago. This is when they were warning banks, hey, be careful, essentially saying if you're going to deal with crypto companies, you're going to have issues, right? Federal regulators warned banks to beware of significant risks surrounding crypto assets. You had a trio of federal regulators, including the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, and the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller. They said it's important that risks related to the crypto asset sector that cannot be mitigated or controlled do not migrate to the banking system. Okay? Then, more recently, we have this, a page that's loading. U.S. financial regulators warn against crypto exposure in retirement accounts. Okay? It's a source from Cointelegraph. 3 financial watchdogs in the U.S. have issued a warning to investors considering certain individual retirement accounts with exposure to cryptocurrencies. According to the agencies, some of the aforementioned IRAs could offer exposure to crypto that qualifies as securities, quote, without SEC registration or a valid exemption from registration, and without providing the information necessary to make informed decisions on investments. And this is from the SEC Investor Education. Investor Alert. Self-directed IRAs allow investment in a broader and potentially riskier portfolio of assets other than types of IRAs. Okay? And if you remember, in November, The AG in New York recommended prohibiting crypto investments in IRAs and 401ks. We've heard the same thing from Elizabeth Warren, right? Next, SEC. This was yesterday. SEC directs examiners to focus on how U.S. broker-dealers are pitching crypto. Okay? We know the SEC hired a crap load of people, right? And I believe their funding resets. It reset this month or resets next month. U.S. broker-dealers and investment advisors that deal in crypto will get extra scrutiny from the SEC examiners this year. The regulator will make sure the companies, quote, followed their respective standards of care when making recommendations, referrals, or providing investment advice. SEC Chair Gary Gensler said these priorities for the examination division aim to protect investors in a time of growing markets, evolving technologies, and new forms of risk. The annual priorities differ from last year's, which included a brief section on crypto that also focused on custody arrangements. Registered investment advisors have reportedly been under recent SEC scrutiny about whether they follow custody rules. And lastly, before I show the last one, this is tweeted from Coin Bureau. The SEC has issued a warning to anyone giving investment advice. Kind of just what I read, but more of like a cool visual here. So, based on everything I've said so far, right? Do you see this as them trying to strong arm, hey, we can't shut the internet off. We can't tell people where to spend their money, but we can influence the people we're overseeing that provide services for the cryptocurrency industry. Nick Carter tweeted it, shared it yesterday. There's like an Operation Chokehold. Cut off the fiat on and off ramps. Tell banks not to deal with them.
Well,
tell anyone talking about crypto, the SEC is watching you.
Here's the thing. If the SEC doesn't have the manpower or even the desire to go after every crypto company as we're, and also
Hold on, did you say they don't have the desire? Okay, I can see your point in the manpower.
No.
But
well, I'm just saying that they don't want to go after. They don't want to go after. How many?
Yeah, but
22,000 cryptos, and then that's just cryptos, and then you have lending protocols, you have exchanges, you have celebrities, you have anybody promoting, influencers. The list goes on and on and on of people that could be held accountable for violations to securities laws, as the SEC says. So instead of going after each one of those people or each one of those companies or blockchains, exchanges, why not just go right to the source? As you said, the on and off ramps. That's what I'm saying. If you go after the institutions, which they already regulate, the publicly traded companies, and even not publicly traded companies, they still need to obey by the rules that publicly traded companies do, just with less transparency. But the companies of America, particularly, fall under the jurisdiction of the FCC. So any way that we participate with crypto has to go through one of these companies if you're a U.S. resident. And outside of being a U.S. resident, most people abroad are working with companies that at some point touch U.S.-based companies. And so cutting the tie to crypto from there is a lot less work with the same intent, right? Shut down crypto, all the quote-unquote securities that aren't Bitcoin, and then instead of going after each project, because they don't have the manpower to do it anyways, just go after the institutions that help you interact with said projects. It's a no-brain situation for the SEC.
Here's what's interesting to me, right? One of my really good friends, his name is Brad. He owns a wealth management firm out in California. He's got all the licenses. He's registered with FINRA. He answers to the SEC. He answers to a bunch of different regulators. And he is so afraid to come on my show to say anything about crypto. We almost came to an agreement. We can't do it live. It has to be pre-recorded. The questions have to be sent in advance. He has to send it to his legal. They have to send it back. We have to make adjustments. There's certain words he can't use. This is only regarding crypto. And so when Gary Gensler is saying if you're a registered advisor, which if you have a Series 65 or a Series 7, which everyone needs to sell securities, you like they're making you think twice about even talking about crypto to people or even mentioning. Imagine you're a financial advisor and you have people coming in with hundreds of millions. Like, hey, my dad just died. $10 million from his business was passed down to me. I'm really interested in Bitcoin and crypto, and you cannot talk about it, or you're too afraid to even bring it up because you're scared that people like Gary Gensler are going to come after you, or they're going to audit you, or so that's what's intriguing to me is they don't even want people to have the conversation with their investment advisors. And so to me, this isn't a direct attack on crypto and Bitcoin. And one more thing I want to show. This is from one of our favorites. Of course, I'm kidding. Elizabeth
my
Warren.
favorite muchacha.
Now they're trying to corner the miners. Elizabeth Warren leads the charge to learn more about crypto mining energy usage. Is regulation incoming? It's a source from Crypto News. Elizabeth Warren, a Democratic senator who is known as a fierce crypto critic, is now part of an effort by lawmakers to learn more about the energy use of crypto mining. The new initiative aims to increase the transparency requirements for crypto mining companies, particularly when it comes to the potential for pollution and emission of greenhouse gases from their activities. So, and this is a tweet from Representative Jared Huffman. There are a lot of concerns over the energy use and pollution caused by crypto mining. We've urged the administration to use its authorities to make sure companies are being transparent about their emissions and exactly how much they use. So to me, man, this looks like they're coming after crypto.
If you decided to run a data server service, right? You like Amazon Web Service, same thing.
Right.
You just got a bunch of servers in a room. Would you need to say how much power you use to the government? Would you need to say, hey, man, this is how much power our machines use to facilitate online data transactions, right? Essentially, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
No. Why on earth? The miners don't create the pollution. They don't create the energy. They just plug it into the wall. Like that's all they're doing. They're plugging their unit into the wall. They didn't create the energy, and they're paying for it.
And they're helping solidify the power grid, and they're building new infrastructure, and they're capturing methane that would hurt the environment.
I'm just trying to figure out like why on earth do I need to report if I'm mining Bitcoin? Why I need to report how much energy I'm using.
You know what's funny, bro? Is even the electric cars.
No other industry has to do that.
Even the electric cars, their superchargers. What do you think gives it the power? It's just so funny to me. If you literally were just receptive of these miners, they make so much money in the bull market, and they're always looking to cut costs. They will build infrastructure for your power grids. They will spend the money and do it for you. But they don't understand. That's what I'm saying, man. This just seems like headhunting from the top down, from the White House down to the OCC. They're coming after crypto. And to end the poll here, will U.S. try to ban crypto? 74% of you said no. Yeah. So before we bring our guests on, Robin, after everything I showed you, are you still in the camp that the U.S. is not moving towards trying to ban cryptocurrency?
No. There's a handful of individuals in Congress, in the White House, wherever. There's a handful of individuals that are getting press, that are getting articles written about them because they don't like crypto. But overall, the majority of people in Congress on both sides of the aisle, both Democrat and Republican, majority of the people are in favor of crypto, or at least recognize that it is technology that is inevitable. It's coming. It's going to replace things, and that trying to ban it is ineffective. I don't know, because we have articles on people that hate it, but nobody's writing articles on the 80% or the 70% of people that think it's emerging technology that we need to get behind. And that doesn't get press. But what does get press is one angry politician saying, down with crypto. And so that's the headlines. But realistically, It's not going to happen. It's not enough votes.
Well, the chat agrees with you. All right.
Also, with the chat, I just want to give a little love right before we get go into our guest. We got a couple of new people. We got Mengi C, Brandon F, MT Ken D from Montana, by the way, Luna Sestian, and BMX. Hola! Welcome, Sin City Crypto.
All right. I saw a few people in here that said they're here for Dan the Man. So without further ado, let's bring on Dan the Man. Dan, how you doing, my friend?
Good. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, thanks for joining us again. We've been coming on the last few months. We appreciate you, and we love your insight and your charting. So thank you so much. I have a couple quick questions before we jump into charts. First question: how much money would someone have to pay you to chop your hair off?
I probably wouldn't be too much. I'd do it for $1,000 and donate it. I'd donate the $1,000 and just grow it back.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. All right. My second question is, let me paint a scenario here for you. Okay. Let's say you're in Las Vegas. It's your brother's bachelor party, and he wants to go to a gentleman's club, a strip club. And you walk into the gentleman's club, and the first thing you see is this: the world's largest bouncer, a 15-foot robotic security detail. Would you turn around and leave immediately, or would you feel safer knowing that this Decepticon is going to protect you from anything crazy happening?
No, you're leaving, especially if you're on any kind of substances. That is bad news.
That is extremely bad news. All right, Dan, we like to have some fun here on the show. So let me show you something before we get into the chart. So this is pretty popular, and it's been going around. This is the Wall Street cheat sheet, psychology of a market cycle. Where would you say we are on this chart? Are we in anger? Are we in depression, disbelief, hope?
Do you even believe in this chart?
Yeah.
As well.
This chart is definitely accurate enough. As far as putting something like this on paper, obviously it's not going to apply to every market, but I've seen enough, euphoria markets that pump and dump, and it's definitely close enough to be paying attention to. I would say, there's a lot of people that think right now that the broader market and the S&P 500 on the longer term timeframes are in complacency on this bounce that we currently have going. I think crypto is a lot further along. Crypto had a lot more fear, a lot more capitulation. We had all the headlines and the things that you see that market capitulation kind of bottom with the FTX situation and all of that. So for me, I would say the crypto space is more along, on the right side of this chart, trying to put in a longer term bottom. But I can definitely see the argument where the S&P 500 could be in a complacency situation here. And if that were the case, then obviously that means crypto's not done going down either if the S&P 500 were in a complacency bounce right now.
Right. We have seen Bitcoin and crypto kind of decouple a little bit. But is that a trend you're seeing? And I know we're speculating here, but do you believe at one point they'll be completely separate? Maybe not move inversely completely, but just because stock market crashes doesn't mean crypto has to crash. Or do you think they're always going to be kind of, neck and neck?
I think they're always going to be tied. And we saw it happen. I came as a stock trader and got into crypto in 2017. And I was one of the first people hey, we're starting to correlate here. And so many people were, no, we're not. You're wrong. It's an uncorrelated asset. And it's just the more legitimate it gets, the more professional traders and automated trading systems are going to be linked to what the broader market is doing. And, just think about it. Someone has an automated trading system that's been working for them in the S&P 500. They're going to try and play around in crypto and say, well, if I use the same parameters in the S&P 500 and, tweaking it around and all that. But I think that it's, there's going to be periods, obviously, where it breaks correlation. And the number one way that correlation will break is influxes in volume. So if there's big bear news, the correlation breaks and crypto dumps. If there's big bull news, the correlation breaks and Bitcoin shoots up. But I think that because it is now a larger market cap, there's more market makers, there's more liquidity in the markets. I think that they are joined at the hip to a certain degree.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think that as we move forward, it's just when you have more money in the system, more liquidity in the system, there's more printing, there's more spending. You see generally all markets, it doesn't matter if it's crypto, all kind of move in one direction. And that's kind of just how the free markets work. Recession is more of a broader market overview. It's not just one market. And so as prosperity goes across, as more people get more money and more people are making more money, more people are investing in different, more speculative things. I think it's always going to be correlated.
Yeah.
At least in some degree. Obviously, you're going to get bigger returns and bigger losses, more volatility, but yeah.
All right, I'm going to have Robin pull up the crypto bubbles, and then we're going to take a look at some charts with you, my friend. So, Rob, let's go ahead and pull it up. See some of the biggest gainers and losers of the day.
All right.
Maybe get some entry and exit points for the people watching. If you like Dan, if you like us having guests like Dan on the show, make sure to put a 1 in the chat and like the video as well.
Okay. So taking a look at the crypto bubbles, we have here. Let's start with this. There we go. So we have Hex up 18%. I'm not a big Hex guy, but anyways, Sand is up also as well, 13. Render is down. Render and I think this is Synthetics here.
Singularity.
Singularity. And then these had both big run-ups for the week.
And the graph.
So you can see here. So Singularity and then Optimism, both big run-ups. And Hex up 90% on the week. It's kind of nuts. And then taking a look at the overall markets on CoinMarketCap, we did lose a $23,000 support level. Kind of interesting. We have been in this territory a few times. I'll let you get into the charts here in a moment on it, but just to kind of show you in the last 7 days.
Show him your show. So, Dan, since the last time you were here, Robin has patented a new pattern. I want your thoughts. Tell him, Robin.
So we have I am nowhere near any kind of technical, but I am a man of analogies, and this is what I call the ascending stairs. So as you see here, ascending stairs, and stairs go both directions. You have descending as well. So
wow.
Are you familiar with the ascending stairs
pattern? Was it in any of the books?
It's just an uptrend, and you're right. It's an uptrend that's leveling out, and we're on the verge. Are we about to start stepping down?
Okay.
We got a wall of support that I'll point out here, where we just keep defending it, but eventually it's going to break.
If you want to use the ascending stairs terminology, you are welcome to use that one.
He does not want to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then taking a look, we also have Ethereum over 1,600 again. So we see that Bitcoin's down for the 24 hours and the week, but Ethereum up almost 5% on the week. So that's kind of interesting. But
Polygon was pumping today too. So.
Yeah, there was a couple. Near Protocol is pumping, man.
And Sandbox, there was big news. Sandbox, we'll cover that a little later. But
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, Dan. Let's start with Bitcoin. I feel like we're getting ready to just be range bound again for another week. What are the charts saying? Am I crazy here, or are you seeing something different?
It's entirely possible. We're going to know, I think, within 24 hours, we'll have a lot better of an idea, because as I'm showing here, these yellow lines, we've bounced off of pretty much, I'm calling it a range between 22.3 and 22.7 thousand at this point. But we bounced off 23, 23, 20, or 22.5, 22.5, and now it's 22.6, 22.6. And so you can zoom in and you can see the most recent support of 22.6. The bulls are defending it. Just today, we've flushed down, bounced right above it. Now we're tightening up. So we're on the verge of confirming a bearish reversal pattern, which is a head and shoulders, where you got your little left shoulder, there's your head, and this is the right shoulder. And again, it's just a question of, do we break this support and break the right neckline? And I believe that at this point, I just imagine all the other traders in the market like myself, where you're playing off these levels, and there's a lot of people that have stop losses now under this 22.6 thousand level. There's also people with stop losses under the double bottom at 22.5, and there's people with stop losses under the double or triple bottom at 22.3. So I think that if 22.6 breaks, it's going to trigger a waterfall of stops. It's going to break 22.5. It's going to trigger more stops. It's going to break 22.3. And I don't think it's going to be, a huge capitulation kind of flush, but it would be enough for us to say, okay, we've lost the daily uptrend. We've lost the pattern of a higher low every single weekly candle. This is the weekly chart. So every single weekly candle we've had a higher low for 6 weeks in a row. We're on the verge of that breaking. So that was your ascending, what was it, stair step? Ascending pattern.
Ascending stairs.
Potentially, yes, ascending stairs are potentially about to shift to the descending stairs. And it's really just that support level. And if we go, again, I'm always tying it to the broader market because of the correlations. But this is the S&P 500, and this daily higher low that was set yesterday is a key level. The NASDAQ is a little bit weaker today. But if we break this support level, again, it's the same thing. We've been in an ascending stair pattern, a higher low, higher high pattern for 5 weeks. And it would be, I'll just draw it here, but higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This is potentially a lower high, lower low. So essentially just changing from an uptrend to a downtrend. It's on the table as a possibility. Today we're trading fairly sideways within yesterday's range. And I think tomorrow we've got some economic data, 8:30 a.m. that's going to move the market a bit. But if the NASDAQ
what you're saying is that we have a possibility for this right here, right? This descending stairs. This is.
I don't know if it'll be that severe, but
okay.
It would be enough to break recent supports. It would be enough for 4-hour oversold RSI. It would be enough for weekly consolidation. And then the next biggest question is, how significant, using Fibonacci, how significant is the retracement of that move? So we know that whenever we do see trying to get my fibs up here. There we go. So when we do see the weekly consolidation begin, whether it's within a couple of days or not, remains to be seen. But how much do we retrace? If we retrace to the 382, that is healthy and is a potential bull flag. If we retrace to the 50%, that's when we look for the tightening range. So the number one way that I determine probabilities of continuation or tightening ranges is the amount of retracement. It's either a 50% plus for the tightening range or 382 or less for the bull flag. So
what were the price levels on those, Dan? What were the price levels on the 382 and the 50?
It is 21.2 for 382. And if we drop down under 20.3, that's when we start to exceed the 50% retracement.
Got it.
So bulls want to hold 21.2. If you hold 21.2, then the consolidation is no big deal whatsoever. We know it's inevitable. We just ran up 5 weeks. We just ran 50%. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, whether it's this week or in a couple of weeks. But the amount that you pull back, it shows you, how aggressively are bulls buying the dip. Is there a lot of money on the sideline that missed this move that is looking to capitalize on that pullback? I use these EMAs a lot. This red line is EMA 12. And you can see we rejected from it a bunch on the way down. And so if the bulls are going to show us something, they want to now hold it. Previous resistance act as support to try and you can see it aligns with that pretty much that 382 level. So that's the ideal scenario when we see weekly consolidation. The question we have in the short term is that weekly consolidation shaping up in the next few days or not?
Amazing. There's a lot of talk about this golden cross, right? Do you put any weight into that?
And we also have I think it was a death cross on the weekly as well. And so do you put much into either one of those, or?
I don't. They're great. They're great for the people on CNBC that don't do technical analysis, and it's their one little talking point. Like, okay, I can make sense of that. It's it's a lagging indicator. By the time those crosses happen, the trends, the price levels of higher lows and higher highs, or lower highs and lower lows, they've given you that information long before.
Got it.
Dan, one of our community members, G4 Life, said, do you think we're going to fill the CME gap?
I don't know where the CME gap is. I haven't checked it out. Where's it at?
I don't know either. G4 Life, expand on your question, and I'll see if our friend Dan can answer it. While he's doing that, will you take a look at Polygon Matic? This thing is over $1.30. It's kind of going against the trend here. Just they continue to bring partnership after partnership. We're big fans of Matic on the show.
Was there any breaking news on Polygon Matic?
Not that I saw today.
For any of the recent pump?
Not that I saw today, but we know price action has been moving up. And so if if you're looking to take some profit, what are some good levels to take profit at? Or if you're looking to get in, what are some good levels to wait to get in? Or is now a good time to get in?
I always like buying on consolidation as opposed to, there are market environments where buying bull breaks work. And, 2017 crypto, when we kept hitting all-time highs, was, if you bought an all-time high, you're going to get 10% follow through very easily. And it was just easy. In the most recent bull market, that was not the case. You did not want to be buying resistance breaks. So I much prefer buying consolidation. The risk and reward is much more favorable. And again, you're talking about your ascending stair pattern. Here's the higher lows and higher highs. It's your classic uptrend. And again, that daily EMA 12, I like it on all time frames. It's holding each period of consolidation. So if you want to keep it simple, a bull that's wanting to let a position run here is saying, I'm going to hold my position as long as this daily EMA 12 is support. And when we lose it, that can be the first indication to take some off the table. If I were looking to enter long and I don't have a position, I would be watching for first 4-hour oversold conditions. You can see that on this move up, we haven't hit 4-hour oversold. We come close a couple times, but bulls are buying before it gets that extreme. And so I call that a back burner indicator, where if you're running and running and running and you're not selling off, once you finally do sell off, again, it's all the people that are on the sideline that are looking for an entry. They look to buy in those oversold conditions. So I would be looking for 4-hour oversold whenever that happens next to be a time to scale in a couple entries if I were looking for a long position.
Got it. What about, so we know the trend recently has been these AI tokens, right? You had AGIX, GRT, the graph. I know that's up 107%. Have you been personally trading in and out of any of these AI crypto tokens?
I have not.
Graph's
I've been in the AI.
100%.
I've been in the AI.
I was just
stock
looking
world.
at a graph, and it's up 100% on the week. So
That's a lot. So you can see AI, the stock here. This is what I've been interested in. You can see we bottomed out at the end of the year. We ran up, 200%. It's got a ton of volume and liquidity. We're trading something like, $600 million a day. For me as a professional trader, I need the volume and liquidity. And also I can't compete in crypto with fees versus no fees. In the stock world, I can throw around 6 figures, market buying and selling. I get filled instantly with no slippage because they're extremely liquid. And, I can do day trading. I can trade 8 times in a day, AI, because this volatility, again, is very significant. Just today, we shoot up 14%, we drop back 10%. So those 8 trades that I'm taking, let's keep it simple math. Let's say I do a $50,000 order and I buy and sell, and I do that 5 times. So you're talking $500,000 of volume from me. And if I do that in crypto with market orders, I'm going to pay 4 figures in fees. And if I do that in a stock world, I'm going to pay $0 in fees. So it's a very big difference. And my trading style is, scalp trading, aggressive day trading, using market orders, because when I want in now. I definitely, use limit orders to scale out sometimes, but my trading style very much favors trading stocks. And with crypto, that's one thing that, I'm waiting for in the crypto space is a race to the bottom in these fees. We saw it in stocks. I used to pay $8.95 a trade in stocks, and then it was $5.95. And then we went from, $5 to $0 overnight, where
you're 100%
Schwab
right.
First it was Robinhood, but then Schwab changed the game as well. And so I'm waiting for crypto to do that as well. And to be completely honest, I'm shocked that from 2017 to now, there hasn't been more progress. How is somebody not competing with Coinbase? Coinbase is terrible as an active trader. Their interface, they don't give me my cost basis of my positions. They don't allow me to place a stop loss and a sell order at the same time. There's just so many little things that a professional trader needs that crypto doesn't have at this point. And eventually we will get that race to the bottom in fees, but we're not there yet. And I thought we would be there 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, and I have a Charles Schwab, and I had a TD Ameritrade until they kind of merged. But you're right. It was, when I used to trade options, it was $10 per contract or $10 per order, and went down to 5. And some places are 0 now. Now you can do it through your Chase Bank, and they don't charge you a fee. So I 100% agree with that. Can we take a look at GRT? That is the graph. It's in the AI crypto token area. Like Robin mentioned, it is up 100%.
I didn't even realize that the graph was.
I didn't realize it was in the AI sector, but
Yeah, because
what
it's
they
more
do,
in
it
the
makes sense.
it's more in the data storage, which is
Well,
paramount.
data query, not storage. Data
Yeah,
query.
yeah. So which is paramount to AI. So perhaps it's more or less facilitating AI's use case because like the Chat GPT, for example, they partnered more so with Microsoft, not for the payday. Well, I'm sure the payday was big influence, but also for their data storage and their web services. And so I'm curious to see if Graph is rallying as much as it is because AI projects are using the Graph in the same way that other layer ones are using oracles.
I honestly, like, just to speculate, I honestly think it's just a hype.
Mm.
But go ahead.
You get to a point where, just like you said, if you throw the buzzword around, it catches on, and you got penny stocks that have nothing to do with AI, and they say, oh, we're looking to do AI. They put out a press release, and suddenly their market cap goes up 30%. And so it's very worthwhile for these little companies. And again, I know nothing about GRT. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but when you get this kind of hype and euphoria, you have to be cautious of, again, just the companies that are throwing that headline out for the little gold rush. And it happened with blockchain, it happened with cannabis companies, it happened with 3D printing. So it's definitely happening with AI as well.
I agree. And so if I'm a fan of the graph and I want to, invest in it long term, is now a good time? And of course, none of this is financial advice. What are some levels that maybe I should wait if I want to buy some? I should wait to see. Because I always say you never want to hop on a train that's going 100 miles an hour. You want to wait for it to come to its next stop. Has it come to its next stop, or do we still got some ways to go?
If I were looking for a short-term trade over the next day or two, this is now, again, this EMA 12 is just one of my visual guides. So here we are testing it, and I look at the 15-minute time frame, and I can see a little inverse head and shoulders trying to shape up. So if the bulls are able to break 1826 and 1832, that's going to be our 4-hour higher low being set. There are no red flags. Increasing bull volume, declining bear volume is what you want to see as a bull. And I would be looking for the high. If that 15-minute pattern confirms the 4-hour higher low is set, I would expect to bounce up into the 20-cent range. And depending on the volume, if you see increasing volume again, you can definitely see that higher high. If it's unimpressive volume, that's when we anticipate this tightening range kind of pattern. As far as the longer term, I'd have to wait for daily consolidation. You've got a higher low every candle over the last week. You've run up almost 200% in a week. And again, just looking for that daily EMA 12, I could say, all right, I want to wait for the train to come to the next stop, as you said. And once we start pulling back on the daily, maybe I enter when we see first hourly oversold conditions. Maybe I wait for the daily EMA 12 support to actually be tested. But this is definitely in the category of I have to see consolidation. I personally, will see something that's running, and if I missed it, I just say this trade's either going to come to me or I just will keep missing it because the risk and reward does not favor me chasing this name, and I have to wait for the trade to come to me. I will buy if we hit daily EMA 12, and if we don't, I'll just wave goodbye and move on to the next trade.
I think it's such a good point. Waiting, you hear athletes talk about it all the time, the game coming to you, just like, with trading. You want to let the trades come to you. You don't want to force anything. And so that's usually how people get wrecked is they use their emotions and they're like, oh my God, I missed it. I can't miss this one. And then they make a bad decision and lose all their money. This next one was a request from one of our community members. Can you take a look at Ocean? I believe this is another AI.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is trades on Coinbase. It's that was the only one I knew of before this craze started. So the second, which this one hasn't rallied as hard as some of the other AI projects. So
it's definitely had a nice move, but it is more slow and steady over a prolonged period of time. So again, we're riding that daily EMA 12, and actually that's interesting. The Coinbase chart is different than the other chart that I just had up. That was Bing Act. I don't even know what that is. So we'll stick with Coinbase. So on Coinbase, we've got a tightening day. It's called a daily inside bar because the range of today is completely within the range of the previous day. And what we're watching for is, are we about to see big enough consolidation to start a daily pullback? And I'm watching for, this is the kind of name where we look for first hourly oversold conditions, which at the bottom of this wick here, we were just getting to hourly oversold. And if the uptrend is going to remain strong, the strongest uptrends have hourly oversold conditions mark the higher lows on longer term time frames. So this is now the 12-hour chart. And if this is going to stay in full bull control, then that hourly oversold that we just saw, that needs to mark the 12-hour higher low, and we need to see continuation. If the hourly oversold that we just saw results in a lower high and lower low, then that tells us we need to be a bit more patient. The bulls are losing a bit more momentum. And we have to keep in mind, these AI stocks and these AI crypto are going to see weekly consolidation. We know that's going to happen. It's just a question of when. So here's another one that's seen a higher low pretty much every single week for months, and it's run up 500% over the last few months. And so if I do not want to chase, I have to wait for weekly consolidation. The trade has to come to me. And if I'm looking longer term, I personally would not be touching these names until that weekly consolidation.
Okay. I think it's hard, and I'm telling you, you probably don't deal with this with Dan, but I do. When you're like it's so hard to fight the FOMO, right? It's so hard, especially when you cover the news every day and you're hearing all this versus and I don't know if you follow the news. I know a lot of technical analysts, they don't like to look at the news. They just like to look at the candles and the charts. And so when you're in the news and you're following and you had this hype building up, it's hard to stay away, but I think what you're saying is very important is don't chase the money, right? Let the trades come to you. I want to get a little selfish here, okay? So this one's for myself. Okay? I got in on a long on APT. On the daily, I saw a bull flag, and the Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten. Was this a bad long trade to get in? Or was it a good call?
So what you often see happen is the lead bull in the cryptocurrency space then shifts to the lead bear. And so APT was absolutely lead bull and had complete control. And it hit its high, which then double topped all the way back in January 26. We topped out. And if you look at, let's just compare it to Bitcoin real quick. Where was Bitcoin on January 26? Not too much higher, but we did get higher highs. And there are other altcoins that are obviously a good bit higher than where we were January 26. So we have the weekly consolidation underway for APT. You can see the stair-step pattern of a higher low every single week has now broken. There are no red flags on this current pullback. It lost its momentum in the sense that, bulls made their money and then they took their profits and went to other coins. And so I'm watching actually for OP to potentially do the same thing, a little bit off topic, but OP has the same thing where it was the lead bull, and now we have a double top at the highs, and we are potentially shifting now into that same weekly consolidation. So it's not necessary. I mean, if you were looking, it's the same thing that we just said, if you were looking for a longer term entry, it's better to wait for the weekly consolidation because we've just run up 650% plus with no weekly higher low. So that's one, again, if I'm looking, longer term, I'm waiting for the weekly pullback. But it is still, as far as weekly consolidation goes, there's no red flags. It's just a question of, well, if Bitcoin breaks the supports that we just talked about, does that mean AP is now going to head down towards the weekly EMA 12 down in the lower teens, which is definitely on the table as a possibility. So I would just chalk it up as an example. And, we saw the same thing with Mana and Sand, where they led this rally up from the lows. And since then, they're not doing, Sand has that news that you're going to talk about, but Mana has not been doing a whole lot since, that initial surge up. It was a lead bull, and then bulls take their profits and they go to the other coins because, Mana hasn't gone up a whole lot since mid-January, but there's a whole bunch of coins like Matic. If you take your profits from Mana mid-January and you put them into Matic, I mean, you're just compounding those gains because you're choosing a weaker, you take your money out of the strongest name and then you put it into a weaker name that ends up being a laggard. And so that's what a lot of traders will do is, try and get out of the name before the music stops and look for the laggard play. So I'm looking at APT is topping out temporarily and OP watching for the same thing. And, longer term, no red flags, but definitely done in the short term.
Man, you're killing it, dude.
So what you're saying is I'm
You're killing
a dummy.
Yeah, David's not killing it, but you
Yeah.
are, sir.
I'm in no way a TA guru. I get by just fine. I understand the terminology, but I love getting different perspectives. Like, to be completely honest with you, when we get off the show, I'm going to add those 2 EMA lines to my chart because everything you've showed and I've seen, it's just money. So, Dan, thank you so much. Before we let you go, my friend, are there any other charts you wanted to show or anything going on in the chart guys land that we should get excited about?
On the charts, I mean, there's so many things that I'm watching bigger picture. This is the first time I'm looking at 4-month charts, just because after the bear market, we pulled back enough where, all right, we're showing them. So just some little
you got
quick
some macro
looks.
stuff?
Yeah, just the 4-month time frame. So again, look at the 4-month EMA 12. So the big question here is, does SPY, the S&P 500, just keep holding it as it has for decades, or a bear's hopes and dreams are that we fail the all-time high and break the fear low? Because you can go back and say we have not lost this since 2008. So any bear that's saying, oh, it's about to get ugly and it's about to be like 2008, that has to happen. And so I'm watching that. I'm also watching, names like NVDA. We'll go to crypto in just a second, but NVDA, same thing. Just a 4, you look longer term. Is there anything wrong with that chart? No, there are no red flags whatsoever. So these charts are helping me stay open to the possibility that we can head back to all-time highs from here. But now you look at Bitcoin, what's the most likely, I got to turn off log for a second. What's the most likely scenario for Bitcoin? And for me, the most likely scenario is a 4-month lower high. So I would not, if we get some nice follow through over the next 6 months or whatever, I would not be surprised for Bitcoin to trade range bound for a very long time. And you go back to the last bull run and bear market, and you can see that we just tightened up in a 4-month tightening range with our high, our low, lower high, double bottom, and then we finally broke. So I'm going to be looking for something similar where even if the bulls do run up to 35, 40,000, I'm just going to be looking for something like this. And next thing you know, we're going to be in 2024 and watching a tightening range try and break. But now, all that said, the bulls still have proven.
You said earlier, that you're with the correlation between the S&P 500 or the broader markets, crypto. If we were to go into that 2008 style recession, does Bitcoin go with it? And are we back down to the sub 20s?
I think absolutely. I think this is a bear flag if the S&P 500 does that, and I think we're heading back down towards the 10,000 to 3,000 zone that we traded a lot within and kept a lot of there's a lot of support down there. But if the S&P 500 rolls over, I don't think there's any way that one of the highest risk reward asset classes in existence does not see a sell off as well.
That's fair enough.
Like a zombie apocalypse movie, man. I only say that because I started watching The Last of Us yesterday.
Yeah.
You ever watch that?
No.
Pretty good. Check it out.
Okay, Dan, real quick. What do you like better, Tropic Thunder or Nacho Libre?
Oh, man. I think Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder has more like laughs. It hits you more absurdity. Yeah. Nacho Libre is definitely its own style of thing. I'm a big Jack Black fan. Tenacious D, back in high school, saw them at Bonnaroo. I love Jack Black.
Amen. Same here. And I'm curious what the chat thinks. Tropic Thunder, Nacho Libre. Let us know.
1 for Tropic Thunder, 2 for Nacho Libre.
Yeah, and put in 3
if you have
like
no
Dan.
idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Dan. Before we let you go, we got your YouTube channel linked in the description of this video, so definitely everyone go subscribe to the Chart Guys. Where else can they find some more content from you guys? Because I know it's not just you. You have a team. They want to maybe learn about trading, or I don't know if you guys offer courses where you give signals or whatever, but where can they get more information?
Yeah, we got a free course on our website, chartguys.com. Tons of free content on the YouTube, Twitter, @ChartGuys. I'm always posting lots of stuff there as well. The path that people go through is always, observing and watching all of our free content. And then we have, our chat room community and things like that for people that want to take a more serious, deeper dive. But always start with the free stuff and see if it suits your style. And a lot of people have been, they'll join up and say, I've been watching you since 2017. And I like it that way. People know what they're getting. They know what we stand for and what we're all about, as opposed to, someone on day one coming in and trying to figure things out on the fly.
I 100% agree. And like I mentioned earlier, we truly appreciate you having on the show, my friend. We hope you'll come on again next month. And guys, please go support the guests that join our show. Go follow Dan on Twitter. Also go subscribe to YouTube. And if you want the free course, go head over to their website. Dan, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. Enjoy your week, and we will see you soon.
Appreciate it. I will be back.
All right.
All right, brother.
Man, Jimmy said I look defeated, and he's right. Yeah.
You always look defeated.
I'm gonna have to go close my Aptos position. Take an L. Good. Let's before we move on, let's show some love to our friends.
Yeah. Real quick, we did run a poll here. AI tokens are ... And the options were all hype with no real utility, or the future of crypto and buy now. 66% of you think it's all hype with no real utility. And only 33%, 1/3 of the viewers think that AI is a future.
Andre Cronje came out and tweeted he hates when people try to combine AI and blockchain. He said they're two completely different things. They never work together.
Mm-hmm.
AI needs speed and throughput for information, and blockchain is too slow.
Yeah. You can't make an argument to me that sounds legitimate, that it runs efficiently. As we said, it takes 8 to 10 times as much computing power for one chat GPT message in comparison to a Google search. And that's a massive amount of internet data. We know blockchain is not prepared to handle that. Now, where this excels is if you can take AI and apply it to crypto in the same way that we apply oracles, where you have external data that now, if the external data is via a AI program, that can make blockchain better. I was doing some research on some of what AI can do, and as a user, you can use it as a tool of research. You can ask it questions. You can ask about tokenomics. You can input smart contracts. It is very good at creating wallets as well. It can write smart contracts. So if you want to get into crypto and you have no coding experience or very limited amount of coding experience, you can use ChatGPT or other AI services to help you break through, almost as an assistant or an apprentice, to help you get started. And also you can have it write basic smart contracts. I was watching some people just literally write a wallet program where, hey, I just made a wallet for Ethereum, which is in the same way. Like, I made my own MetaMask, and you can do that with an AI service and not have anybody else control it. Isn't that crazy? Like, how many people can just say, hey, you know what? I don't want to use MetaMask because they blacklist wallets, right?
Right.
But I can just have an AI write me a MetaMask code, same copy, and boom, done.
Yeah, but we see the whole AI is biased thing, so I don't know.
No, but here's the thing: it's code. It can write code, so it can write you a smart contract. It can write you, because essentially I don't exactly know if MetaMask is a smart contract, like as far as its protocol, but essentially it's just a protocol that's written and built onto that interacts with Ethereum network and other networks. So,
speaking of interacting, I told you we had some Sandbox news, and well, soon Saudi Arabia and Sandbox will be interacting for a metaverse. So Sandbox seals deal with Saudi Arabian Digital Government Authority.
Do you think they partnered because they both have
a lot of sand
environments?
Probably, yeah. But yeah. The Sand.
Oh, I'm sorry about you guys.
Yeah, that was great.
You called for it.
Yeah. The Sandbox has signed an initial partnership deal with Saudi Arabia's DGA around a yet to be determined scope. The first 30 days of 2023 have started off strong, and there are a number of once active crypto niches that are finding fresh life, like the metaverse. In a LinkedIn post that was published on Thursday, Sandbox COO and co-founder Sebastian Bourget broke the news, stating that it was a true honor to sign our MOU, which are Memorandums of Understanding, partnership ceremony between the Sandbox and the Saudi Arabia Digital Government Authority during the conference of LEAP 2023. And we look forward to exploring, advising, and supporting mutually each other in the activations of the metaverse. Now, little is known of the partnerships in regards to scale and scope, but just to give you some context, if you're wondering why is Sandbox pumping, well, this is part of the reason why. So, are you surprised they picked Sandbox? Why not Mana? Why not something else? And what are your thoughts on this? I know we don't have all the
an
details.
open world Minecraft looking game and a government, like it just doesn't mesh. Like why? Right? Now, we covered an article a couple months ago. Korea, I think it was, South Korea. I don't know the details. But anyways, you had a government offering their services in a metaverse. So you can, instead of going down to the DMV in person, you can just walk into the DMV office and you can interact with a representative for the DMV behind a counter in an artificial DMV environment. Kind of made sense. But I don't know, is Sandbox doing something like that where they can facilitate government services? Because if it's anything other than that, what the hell are you doing with them, right? Like, what are you like?
There might be oil under that virtual sand. That Jimmy.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. There's not enough information for me to comment on. But the reason I shared the article is because Sand's been pumping, and people probably want to know why.
It's not okay. So it's not the first partnership where you have a government working with a metaverse. I'm just curious to see, is this kind of gimmicky, or are they actually trying to facilitate some of their government services?
They're going to build
the
oil
metaverse?
refineries in the metaverse.
Possibly. Let's get on to a couple new people in the chat. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. Oren Bros, Bowers, Turpentine Hunter, Perry D, XRP, Armand Clark, and Lewinsky. Hola!
Oh my God. Look, it's Lewski.
It's the same.
No, it's not. It's not Lewinsky.
It's the same.
Lewinsky has a bad, naughty boy. It's a naughty girl.
You said a naughty girl.
Can we build a buffalo mozzarella factory in the metaverse? I will go there every day.
You say buffalo
mozzarella.
Yeah, buffalo mozzarella factory, where you can make the fresh mozzarella. If they can make,
What do we call it? Mama mozzarellas.
You know, I watched a YouTube video on how they make.
Why you say that? Mama mozzarella.
The name of the shop. Mama mozzarellas.
I watched a video on how they make that
It sounds so Italian.
super soft mozzarella. Which one is that? The burrata. Burrata, yeah.
Let's show him that's the face of a shame.
It's not, bro. It's not, man. I'm a beast with you guys. I got accents for days, man. I'm not gonna do it because I'll get canceled. But yeah. All right. Let's. You're just a hater. I want to move on from Saudi Arabia to another
Italy.
Middle Eastern country, and that is the country of Dubai. Dubai. They are looking to ban privacy coins like Zcash and Monero. They're prohibiting the use of them.
Also, Dubai is also brought by
Brought to you by
I don't know.
Oh, the drink.
Yeah. It's just missing the DU on there. Yeah. Antioxidant infusion.
Adam Buzzard, TradingView is disabling chat. I never even used their chat. Something going on. Maybe I'll look into it after the show. But Yeah.
Are people chatting in TradingView? Is that
That's
the
what
thing?
I didn't know
Yeah,
they were
a
chatting
lot,
trading view. I don't
There's
know.
a chat
I
on
just
the
pull
side.
up chart and I'm like, that's good. Yeah, let me get an app those long and then have Dan come and shit on me.
No, they share all the charts, so you can see people sharing charts. in the
Sharing their
chat.
charts. Yeah. They're probably fighting over the next AI token. Anyways, so in Dubai, the issuance of and all activities related to anonymity enhancing crypto, such as Monero, are prohibited under new laws published Tuesday. The new rules define anonymity enhancing crypto as a quote, type of virtual asset that prevents the tracing of transactions or record of ownership through distributed public ledgers, and for which the virtual asset service provider has no mitigating technologies or mechanisms to allow traceability or identification of ownership. Regulators in other jurisdictions like Japan have also taken steps to prohibit privacy enhancing crypto, and the EU is considering prohibiting these tokens as well that hinder traceability. Is there if you're a holder of Monero or Zcash, should you be worried? Should you dump your bags? What are your thoughts, Rob?
Well, Dubai's got a history of banning stuff.
But we got Dubai, Japan. You got
beer
the UK.
and alcohol is taboo. You have to have a license to sell it.
But that's all Muslim countries, I believe. I mean, I'm not a.
But what I'm saying is that it's easier for them to ban something without much pushback from society, right? They trust the government to work in their
They
best
don't have a
interest.
choice.
Yeah, that too, but not surprising. And honestly, privacy coins circumvent government control, right? Or at least transparency. And what benefit does Dubai have for allowing Monero and what was the other one? Zcash?
Zcash. Well, all privacy coins. So Monero, Zcash.
So what benefit would they have? Obviously, not a ton of volume on there, and at least not globally, not on the Dubai standards. So it's not like they're missing out. And if you can transact in illegal ways that circumvents government's oversight there, why not? They're not going to have any problem banning it. It's not like US where you try to ban something and there's an uproar.
I mean, yeah, you uproar and you're going to jail or worse.
Mhm.
Self-custody said transparency is a blockchain fundamental. Got a good point. But, Vitalik, when they banned Tornado Cash, Vitalik brought up some scenarios of, hey, I donated a crap load of money to Ukraine. I don't want people to know I donated it, so I used Tornado Cash or other ways.
Yeah.
But obviously, guys, when you have anything could be used for good or bad. I could use this water bottle for good, and I could also use the water bottle for bad. I can use the phone for good. I can use the phone for bad.
What are you going to do bad with that water bottle? I'm just kidding.
I am going to put cyanide in here and say, here,
all
Robin,
the
drink the water
examples,
bottle.
you grabbed a half-drinking bottle of water.
The point is, I can
He's
do
like, I'm bringing
bad.
this through the airport.
It's not
TSA?
about the item. It's not about the item. It's about the person. If someone's bad enough and they want to do something shady or something bad, like go shoot up a school, they're going to go do it, whether guns are banned or not. They will find a way.
There is utility for privacy. My favorite example is that if you're a business owner and you want to pay people in crypto, say your employees, and you have 100 employees and they're all paid different rates, might be a bad idea for all of that to be transparent. So Bob sees that Rachel is making twice as much as him and they got hired at the same time to have the same responsibilities. Bob's going to be like, hey, why am I only making $70,000 a year and she's making 140? Well, Rachel was sleeping with the boss. That's why. So there you go.
Dirty Rachel. Rachel, you dirty. Can't say
So
that.
there is utility for privacy. And with ZK rollups, it's a way that you can validate, have transparency, and also not divulge information that you've deemed sensitive or that you don't want to have out there. So
I want to ask the chat a question. Do you guys like it when someone else digs into their wallet and gives you something for free? Money? Well, that's what Jimmy's trying to do. And we need 4 more likes, and he's going to dole out some more free Sin City Crypto memberships. So while we're on for the next, I don't know how many minutes, it'll be a surprise. Maybe we end now. Maybe we keep going. We're going to keep going. But make sure to hit the like button if you want a free membership to Sin City Crypto. All right, let's talk about Sam. So, You remember last week, the judge said, yes, we're going to make the two people who signed the bail form, we're going to make them public, right? And we said February 7th was the deadline for the appeal. Well, guess what? The appeal was filed last minute as the Sam Bankman-Fried lawyers move on to block the release of the bail guarantors' identities. The names of the two guarantors who signed off on part of Sam Bankman-Fried's $250 million bail bond will continue to remain a secret for now. They filed the appeal last minute on February 7th. The appeal did not contain further arguments against the disclosure, but it will prevent the order from being enforced until February 14th to allow for an application for a further stay. Sam, what shirt is this? Oh, FTX shirt. All right, so I really wanted to know who they were. I know the chat wanted to know, who are these people that put their neck on the line, their money, their valuables, their livelihoods for one of the biggest fraudsters in the history of all mankind? And looks like we're going to have to wait just a tad bit longer for that. And so, looks like we have met the threshold, and our man, Jimmy, the official hype man of Sin City Crypto, has gifted 10 memberships. So guys, if you want free memberships, you have to click it, and it says yes. So yeah, Jimmy, we did the math. Jimmy's given well over 325 memberships that he's gifted. So he is the official Sin City hype man. Jimmy, we love you. We appreciate you, my friend. And if you're a proud member of the new, or if you're a proud member of a Sin City membership, make sure to use your emojis. Drop an hola, drop a brola.
Here, also, I will be adding some new emojis. I'm going to add some more crypto tokens because I think right now we have, what do we have? We have, I know we have Bitcoin, we
XRP.
have XRP.
And I think we have Hex.
Stop. What are, let me see here. What do we have? I
think
want to
that's
know
it.
we just have Bitcoin and XRP.
Throw an ADA one up there, babe.
So guys, let us.
Ada. But it never shows.
You want an ADA?
No, you upload the Solana one, but for some reason it doesn't.
It's not working.
That was a good one, Rocco.
Let us know what emoji you guys want for a token. Maybe Ethereum. I feel like
what about a
Ethereum
Jimmy emoji?
A Jimmy emoji?
I think he's earned it.
He has an emoji. It's in front of his name. It's there all the time.
Desk. Jimmy's the desk. We'll just put his face on the desk emoji. All right, guys, we are finito. Go follow us on social media. We are at Sin City Crypto 1 on Twitter. And go follow all the other social medias. Also, if you want some cool merchandise, head over to our merch store run by none other than the Don himself, Don Rocco. Not only will you find Sin City merch, but you'll also find just general crypto merch as well. Also, if you want to support the channel, there's tons of ways. I want to give a shout out. I think someone sent us about $150 in Bitcoin. And these people continue to want to stay anonymous. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. If you want to support the channel, we don't have any sponsors. Feel free to do that as well. With that being said, Rocco! Friends, family, friends, and family of friends. We thank you guys so much for joining on this beautiful hump day. Huge shout out to one of our favorite guests, Dan from the Chart Guys. We have another special guest joining us tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. On behalf of myself, Robin, Rocco.
Also, big shout out to the chat here. We got a couple new people. Adam Buzzard, Crypto King, JD, JC Los, EF. We got Skids Up, Wes M, Can't Get Right, 589, Aru Basu. Hola! Adios.
Ruin my...